Hello there, my beautiful pumpkins, and welcome back to the Pumpkin Patch. I am your favorite tarot card reader, Kloee Taylor, and on this channel, I believe we have the most cozy, vibey, autumnal corner of the internet, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. But today, my beautiful pumpkins, we are doing your fated path ahead. I was meditating a little bit on this reading and really asking what Spirit wanted to bring to you, what your guides, your ancestors, your spiritual teams wanted to bring to you. And this was the result. Also, we have a very Zelda theme for the reading today, which I thought was really cool. I noticed that my husband had a bunch of Zelda amiibos. I also am a big fan of the franchise myself, but I wanted to use amiibos today for the selectors. So we'll talk about that in a second. I want to give a huge thank you to Tarot Stack today for sponsoring today's video. So thank you so much. More information on that later on. But let me go ahead and tell you about these selectors. So pile number one, you have Urbosa. This is the figurine of Urbosa from Zelda's Breath of the Wild. At least that's what this figurine came from that game, which is an excellent game. I've played it myself. I actually streamed the entire thing when I used to do gaming back in the day. Pile number two, you are going to be the lovely Zelda from Breath of the Wild. So that's going to be your selector. And if you don't know Zelda, like, don't worry. This is still going to be applicable for you if you're here. And lastly, for pile number three, we're going to have Mipha. So honestly, of the three of these, I feel like Mipha is probably my fave, or Zelda. Actually, all three of them, all wonderful, strong female empowerment characters in their own right. But in any case, these are going to be your selectors, so 1, 2, and 3. I am going to turn up the meditation music, give you some time to consider which pile you want to go with. And I just want to reaffirm to you that if you're somebody that has an entrepreneurial heart, or you feel very creative in some way, or you were drawn to this reading, whether it came up in your browse feature, your search feed, or even if it was in your sub box and it just called to you, Spirit wants you to know that you are supposed to be here to hear this message. There is something here in the pile that you decide to choose. For some of you, it might even come out in multiple piles. That does happen. So don't feel like if you were drawn to more than one that you can't choose more than one. Some people will even listen to the entire video from start to finish and then decide after the fact if that, like, which one was the most applicable. So sometimes it's a little bit from all three. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead and turn up some nice little meditation music for you, and then we are going to get into this reading starting with pile number one. All right, pile number one. So first and foremost, I just want to share with you that today's video, of course, is sponsored by Tarot Stack. And we have a couple new decks that we are featuring. Every deck that is used today is from Tarot Stack, and of course, they will all be linked down below for you. I'm going to be sharing with you today the Oracle, or the Outlaw Oracle, and the Creative Compass. These were the decks that actually inspired this whole reading. So they're newer, especially the Creative Compass is newer to Tarot Stack, and I've been like itching to use it. I know that I've talked to you about it before when it was available for pre-order. It's finally in my hands, and we're going to be using that today. So thank you so much, Tarot Stack. Of course, I have my link for you. All the decks are down below. And there's also a discount code for you that will be on the screen as well as in the description box. And let's go ahead and get into your reading. So first and foremost, there's like 5 different things we're kind of looking at in your reading. So number 1, we're going to look at what energy is currently available to you. We're going to look at some creative stuff from that Creative Compass deck. There are multiple different creative categories in that deck, so we're going to wait to see what comes out. We're going to look at obstacles or helpers, and then the answers to those things if there's like, you'll see what I mean when we get to it. And then we're going to close out the reading with a gentle message. So first and foremost, the energy that's around you right now that you can actually tap into, that's going to support you on your fated path ahead. These are really powerful cards. I think it's really wonderful that you chose Urbosa if you used that as your selector, because Urbosa to me is like a very powerful force to be reckoned with in Zelda's Breath of the Wild. She's honestly one of the best characters in my opinion. But you have the Highwayman and Roadside Motel. The Highwayman card is Indomitable Spirit, Legacy, and Roadside Motel is Stability and Security. So what these cards say to me about the energy available to you is actually that your creative spirit, your creative nature, your fated path ahead is to build a legacy. You are here to build generational wealth. You are here to build a legacy. And I want to affirm to you that this doesn't even mean that you're going to have children. If you want children and that's what you desire, then yes, I do believe that this can lead to generational wealth for you. However, if you're somebody that doesn't want children, that doesn't mean that you will not leave behind a legacy of some sort. So just want to put that out there for the girls, the gays, the theys, that everyone in betwixt and in between, that this does not necessarily mean that you're going to birth children, adopt children, foster children. It doesn't always have to mean children in terms of a legacy. You leave behind a legacy based on the works that you put into the world as well. And Roadside Motel with Stability and Security, I really get the sense that you have fallen on a lot of hard times, and Spirit wants you to know that the energy of stability and security is available to you. This is something that you have the opportunity to tap into, and you're being given the ability to create stability, create financial stability, create creative stability. And the message that's coming through to me right now is you have believed that your stability comes from a 9 to 5 and that you're afraid to deviate from that path because you have been sold on this idea that you have to have a real job. And your fated path ahead is not to do that. And you keep undermining your intuition by consistently saying like, oh, but I have to make money and I need to do this to make money. And if I don't like you keep putting yourself halfway in and halfway out of your dreams. And Spirit is saying that if you double down and go all the way in, look at people that are doing what you desire to do. If you want to be an influencer, follow influencers. Notice how consistent they are with their content and become that person. If you want to be an artist, recognize that the times of the starving artist are over. Like, that is a myth. It's not a myth. It was real at one point in time in history. But we are at a point with the digital age where the starving artist archetype, the martyr, does not have to exist anymore. And that is because we are so free to be able to put our work on display like never before. In the past, where you had to send like a horse with a bunch of scrolls across the world, you don't have to do that anymore. You have the ability to open up your phone and publish your work on a public platform for free at any point in time. We are literally in the most blessed timeline for creatives. I just want to let you let that sink in for a moment. Your spirit guides are very loud about this message. Like, they are honestly bringing me to tears because I feel like you might be being brought to tears by this conversation. And don't let the idea that you need to be someone that has to have it all figured out or has to have some kind of specific basis under you in order to put yourself and your dreams out there. There is nothing special that you need to do or become. You could literally start doing this today. I bet you are somebody that is already creative in some capacity. You have already made things. You already have things on your iPad, on your phone. Maybe you've even recorded things that you've done and you just refuse to use them because you think that it can't be this way for you, that other people can have it, but it's not for you. And that's not true. It is for you. Like, no matter what, I don't care what you believe in spiritually. Like, I don't care if you believe in God, spirit guides, the universe, Mother Gaia, whatever it is. Wherever you believe that dreams are implanted in you, whether they come from your higher self, the heavens, like I said, God, the universe, doesn't matter. Use whatever is appropriate for you. But I need you to recognize that desire is never put in your heart because you're just meant to be laughed at and you're not supposed to receive what you want. And if I could give you a personal example of this in my own life, since I was a very, very, very young child, I have always dreamed of opulence. I am somebody that just loves luxury. I do. I love to luxuriate. I love luxury. Every time I would watch chick flicks and like TV shows as a kid, I always loved the characters that had like really rich parents and could just do whatever they wanted with their time, with their energy, and were just really in command of rooms. I always like aspired after those people. And I used to think that that was a bad thing. And I would always feel guilty for like liking those characters or, oh, that would, I want too much. And how dare I desire like a closet full of clothes that I like? And how dare I desire to have a hot tub? And how dare, the list goes on and on and on and on. But the thing is, when you start to accept that your desires are allowed, that you are allowed to want for things, regardless of what the outside world looks like right now, regardless, when you start to accept that your desires are there because they are meant to be fulfilled, you are able to create so much more in your life. You are able to attract the right opportunities, the right people, the right circumstances, and it puts you in this like frequency of being able to get what it is that you want out of this life. It's just, I feel like there is this like sense of shame for wanting something more or something different or like stepping out of a mold that was given to you. Your guides are very adamant that you are afraid of having lack of stability and security by stepping out of a mold. And you're also like, you are part of a legacy that honestly you feel like has stunted your growth. And it's because you have allowed it to at this point. And I don't mean that like they didn't stunt your growth before, because there might be circumstances that have held you back from doing something different. But now that you are aware, if this reading is resonating with you, now that you are aware, it is your responsibility to not let that idea of that legacy stop you. And to do your own legacy in your own way. Now, we do have a couple of creative cards coming up, and sorry for getting a little emotion on you, but like, I don't know if this is something that I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and question my tears. I'm not. Okay, so you have creative rain. You are always in charge, even when the powerful feelings waver. The essence of your creativity is you, and creativity is powerful. Creative reign. I like the word reign because to me it's like, reigning over a kingdom, reigning over maybe your community, right? Having creative reign. But something else you need to know is that you are always in charge. Whatever you decide to create and do with this energy that is available to you, you are in charge. You're in charge of what, like, you're not necessarily in charge of the how things are going to happen, but you are always in charge of how you're going to respond and what you're going to put out. Then we have creative fear. See, I knew there was fear. What are you so afraid of? Unpack it for a moment and set it free or use it. So When you have creative fear, this is normal. I need you to know, as a digital creator myself for over a decade, it's scary. Putting yourself out there, making videos like this is scary. It's scary, right? We see so much backlash. We see how people are just ripped apart for being their authentic selves. We see how sometimes it doesn't feel safe to create for whatever reason. It's real. Fear is real. I have been asked so many times in my digital career by people closest to me, by literally multiple people, Kloee, what do you do when you're scared? How do you do things when you're afraid? And I have to tell you something. It's not that I'm not scared. I don't just live fearlessly. I honestly think when people say that they're not afraid and they live without fear, it's bullshit. Because here's the thing. Fear is actually such an important teacher. It's there to, when you have fear, it can help you. It can help you to make sure you look both ways before you cross the street. It can help you to know not to go down an alleyway that seems shady, right? Your fear is valuable. But when you let fear constantly control your every single move, what you will allow yourself to create in your life, maybe the fear is that you'll be successful, because that's a real fear too. Maybe the fear is that you won't be successful. Maybe the fear is that your family will see it. Maybe your fear is that your friends will see it. Maybe the fear is that deep inside, you think that there is something inherently wrong with you, and you are always ready for somebody to step on you and tell you why you're wrong. And the thing is, it's really easy to be the person in the stands throwing tomatoes at the person in the arena. Always. It is so easy for people to sit in the comment section and to just throw bullshit at you. It is easy and it's weak. Because 9 times out of 10, you go and you look at those comments, take this from somebody who has experience, and you click on their profile, they don't have a YouTube channel. They don't put themselves out there in a brave way. They don't have social media. They are, and this is going to sound very mean because it kind of is, they're a nobody. And you're trying in your realm to be a somebody. And what you are putting out, you are mirroring to them things that they are disappointed in themselves with, which is not your fault or your problem. And I know it's hard because it's so easy to be like, all these wonderful comments, all these nice things people are saying about the things I'm doing. And then there's that one person that says something negative and we're just so scared. The next time somebody says nonsense to you about your creative endeavors, whether it's a comment section, a parent, a friend, somebody that you trust, I want you to literally like pop champagne or pop the kombucha, whatever you drink, and celebrate that moment. Because honestly, when you've got haters, often it means that you're doing something right. And I don't mean that like that is always the truth. I do think there are situations where sometimes you need to actually check yourself. But if it's a one-off person and they're not giving constructive criticism, take that moment as a celebration. Because when the hate starts coming, that usually means that there's more eyeballs on you. And I know that I feel like ultimately the fear is it's fear of other. And the only way you're going to overcome the fear of other and reign over your own community, doing your own thing, is by looking at that fear and saying, I'm doing it anyway. Hey, fear, I see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for trying to protect me. I have to do this anyway. I'm doing this anyway. And the more and more and more you do it, the easier it becomes, I swear. Now, when I make YouTube videos, of course, sometimes there's a little initial anxiety for me when I go to check the comments like immediately, but that wears away. I have hundreds of videos on this channel that I don't really think twice about anymore. It goes away. But you have to do it. Okay, so what is helping or hindering or something we need to change, just something that needs a little bit more clarification on your creative path right now and on your fated path ahead? We have luck, which says, what opportunities and joyful surprises are in store for you? What can you do to align yourself with the energy of luck? This is exciting. I'm going to tell you why in a second. And then we have transcend, to rise above, to go beyond, to surpass your limits, to evolve. Oh, these are such good cards. Holy crap. So you are so lucky. I just need you to, like, not even because you got the luck card, but like you are so lucky because today I'm going to tell you exactly how to capitalize on this for your path ahead. So if you heed this advice, not only are you going to transcend the paradigm that you've been stuck in, but you are literally going to become a magnet for positive opportunities. Are you ready? I'm so excited. I'm like giddy. Okay. So first and foremost, with luck, we're going to start with luck. We have the card of Judgment. Also, look at these cards. Remember that every deck we use today is from Tarot Stack. This is actually one of my all-time favorite decks. Like when I first got this deck, I think we used it in every single reading for like at least a month, maybe two. And we're bringing her back because she's just so pretty. Okay, so we have a Judgment. And then we also have the Empress to explain this. So here's the thing. In order for good opportunities to come into your life, for you to have these things, to see the goodness that is in store for you, I know you're not going to want to hear this, but I swear to you, if you heed it, you're going to get exactly what you want. So listen up. You have to step up and lead. You have to step up and be a leader. You have to decide in this moment right now. You are a leader, and that is that. You're going to ask yourself, if I were a leader of a community and my creative endeavors paved my way forward, what kind of person would I have to show up as right now? Would I post on TikTok every day? What is your ideal? Don't even look at what other people do. Don't try to praise the algorithm, because I have to tell you something. The algorithm, I think it was ASO. ASO said this so well to me. I love her. ASO Tarot, if you don't follow her, I don't know what you're doing with your life. We were talking last year and she was like, Kloee, worshiping the algorithm is literally like worshiping the devil. And I need to remind you that I don't even believe in the devil, but just think of it like a concept, okay? It's like worshiping the devil. It tempts you. You are tempted to do it because you think it's what you need to do to become lucky, to strike gold, to have that one video hit the top of the ranks and go viral. Okay. And you might not be into video creation. Just stick with me for a minute. But you think that you have to please the algorithm. You have to get that SEO just right. You have to get those tags just right. And I'm telling you, no. The only thing you have to do, sorry, I stuttered, to do is decide in this moment that you are a leader of a community and respond accordingly. What would your day look like if you were a leader of a community that honored the things that you had to say, that respected you, that wanted to hear the things that you had to say because you had important things to say? How would you operate? What kind of person would you be? What would your habits look like? What would your day-to-day be like? Like if you had already done it, literally, if you went viral, all of the orders were being filled, your video blew up, whatever it is that you're trying to do, who would you be? Who would you be? What if you woke up tomorrow and this was all real? What kind of person would you become? Who would you be? What would your clothes look like? What would your house look like? What would your routines look like? Don't base it off of what you think it should be. Base it off of the kind of person you believe that you would be, and then show up as that person. If you're the kind of leader that doesn't work an 80-hour week and you want to be the kind of leader that your stuff is mostly passive and you're somebody that you show up and lead 5-6 hours a week, that's the kind of routine you need to commit to. Don't feel like you have to do your 10,000 hours or 100,000 hours. That's like some outdated model of doing things in order to create this. You don't. You simply have to be the person right now. Now, I don't think that this means you have to sit back and not do anything. I think Judgment, it means that you have a powerful message to share. Your spiritual team led you to this reading because they know that. And you need to start sharing it. I think one of the best ways to figure this out also is to ask yourself what you wish a past version of yourself had been told. What do you wish a past version of yourself had been told that would have helped you? That is your message. Because I guarantee you, you are not the only one. And I hate to break it to you, but you're not special. And I don't hear me out. I'm not trying to tell you that you're just not special. That's not the vibe. But when I say you're not special, what I mean is you're not specific. You're not someone that You're the only person this special set of circumstances applies to. You're the only person that would have needed this kind of advice. And trust me on this one. If you decided to put that out there and express yourself and like literally crank the volume all the way up, you're going to be pleasantly surprised because it's literally going to expand you. It's going to bring in all the lucky, abundant opportunities that you've been wanting in your life, but you need to trust it first. And then the Empress, this I love because this to me is about calling the divine feminine into your work. And this doesn't mean that you have to be masculine, you have to be feminine. It doesn't mean that you have to be a certain gender. This is for everyone. We could call these energies fire and water. The masc and femme does not matter. I know that people get really caught up in that. That has literally nothing to do with it. The feminine in working balance, in career balance, in your fated path ahead balance, bringing in and calling in the divine feminine is all about letting things flow. Creativity to me is inherently feminine. It is more of a flow. It's more of a work that you do in tandem with the muse that you have. And that's what you need to honor, not just being this person with a tight, rigorous schedule. Somebody that allows that creativity to bubble up, decides to do something with it, puts that into action, and then, maybe you take some time to rest, and then when you feel inspired again, you do it again. You can live like that. Again, we're not doing creative martyrdom. Okay, so transcend. This is to rise above, to go beyond, to surpass your limits, and to evolve right now. The self-sabotage. Ooh, you got to overcome the self-sabotage. We got the 7 of Crystals and the Queen of Cups. Okay. Some of you are going to be so pissed about this message. That's okay. I can already feel it. I can already feel that you're rolling your eyes at yourself and at me. But 7 of Crystals, literally this is self-sabotaging behavior. And this is also, I'm going to be totally honest with you. Some of y'all are really not going to like what I'm about to say. Your ideas are not yours. Your ideas are not yours. There is no such thing as copying. There is no such thing like if you don't put your ideas out there or want to tell other people about what you're doing because you're scared that somebody's going to take that and run away with it, or you've had a history of that, it doesn't exist. Obviously, plagiarism exists. Taking something that you made, like literally downloading your content and then putting it back out for sale. Yes, that is absolutely plagiarism. That is illegal. Don't do that. If that happens, make sure that you are going out and making a fuss about that. Take that person down if you got to. Get their stuff taken down. However, if you want to make a retreat to Bali, okay, this is just an example, and you tell somebody about that and they turn around and they design a retreat to Bali and take their community on that retreat, it doesn't matter. Because here's the thing. When an idea comes to you, creativity is its own thing. It does not belong to you. In my opinion, this is also comes from the book Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, which is a fantastic read if you're somebody that is on the creative path, which if you came to this reading, you are. I set the intention that the creatives would come to this reading. But she talks about how creativity, when you are given an idea, that idea comes to you because you are the best host to execute it. And that's how creativity works. And if you do not execute it in a timely manner, that creativity will move on to someone else. And it will literally jump hosts. And so if this has happened to you, it's not because you told someone else about your idea and they intended to stab you in the back. It's because you didn't do it. You didn't put the action in. You didn't make the thing. You decided to sit back and then somebody else took that idea and was like, hey, you know what? I can really make that happen. So if you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at yourself, ultimately. But also don't be mad at yourself. Don't be mad at somebody else. New ideas will come to you. It's not, and also, even if you both have the same thing, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Obviously, there's going to be extremes with this. There's going to be people that outright plagiarize, take things to the fullest, take everything from you. and you need to get that vampire right out of your life. Okay, there are extremes to this, but what I'm talking about that Spirit is saying is it's like, these are mine and it's not for anyone else. Nobody else can have this. And it's that attitude that isn't letting you expand. It's that attitude of, I can't share this because if I share this, somebody else is going to take it, that it's hurting you. And it's self-sabotaging behavior. You keep making this happen in your life because you haven't learned the lesson. And I get the sense that this has happened to you. People have taken your ideas and done more with it immediately because you haven't acted. And it's led you to believe that you can't trust people. And ultimately, like it's made you feel othered. It's made you feel like you can't trust others. And this is a big lesson that you need to learn right now in order to transcend where you are. Because I also think a big part of your mission here with your creativity is if you constantly feel othered by other people, again, I hate to break it to you, you're not going to attract clients. You're not going to attract an audience. You're not going to attract like more clientele for your business, for your creative domain. If you always feel like it's you versus them, if you constantly tell yourself that you hate people, that I know this from personal experience. I was this person. I used to tell myself I hated people. I used to tell myself that I was an introvert, which, like, if you're an introvert and creative, that's fine. Introverts are real. I know several of them in my life, but I used to tell myself all these lies about myself. I'm not an introvert. I'm a very extroverted person. I love talking. I love communicating and conversing with others. And it was all of this, like, I felt like I couldn't express myself because of a lot of suppression and trauma in my childhood, which we're not going to get into right now. But like, I would tell myself that I hated people because of the experiences that I had had with people. But ultimately, what it came down to when I really thought about it, I don't hate people. I love people. I love conversing. I love their ideas. I love hearing what they have to say. I love learning about new concepts from people. And there might be some people that rub me the wrong way, like all of us. All of us have those experiences. But that doesn't mean that you need to take what is yours and like run off into seclusion. And don't get me wrong, again, I do think that there are people that like living a more secluded life would really benefit you. You are somebody that needs more peace, more quiet, more nature. But saying that, it's not even a saying. It's like, I feel like you feel so othered in your creative process that this is something that is keeping you from moving on. This is something that is keeping you from doing what you really in your heart want to do. You constantly create these stories of how you are othered. And honestly, I would also recommend, if you are somebody that knows about astrology, look where your Chiron placement is, because I really get the strong indication that there might be some information there that could help you. Like the Chiron is like your wound from the world, and the Chiron can kind of show you even where you, and or Lilith also tells you where you feel othered. Those two placements. Okay, so Queen of Cups, though, with this transcend, you got to start trusting your intuition. You try to logic your way through everything. And this is not bad. Logic is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful tool. I love knowledge. I love logic. Okay, I'm a Sagittarius rising. We love that shit. But Queen of Cups tells me that you need to be trusting your intuition more. You have learned the lesson of trusting your logic, and that has served you extremely well. Now you need to learn the other side. You have two extremely feminine cards in your reading. And again, this is not a gendered thing. This doesn't mean that it's how you identify. It's that the divine feminine aspect, it is more intuitive. It is more flow. It is not force. It is not this logical way of doing things. It relies more on the intuitive side of things. And Queen of Cups states that you really need to hone in and trust your intuition. If you feel called to do something and there is this like light of a spark, you need to trust that and don't wait. Don't say, oh, I'll get to that on Monday. Follow it in the moment and just see what happens. Okay, we have a couple of extra cards and then we're going to be ending with a gentle message. I know I just kind of yelled at you for like, literally this, your reading's gonna be so long. Okay, we have seeing things for what they are. And we have be gentle with yourself. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. I need y'all to understand that I literally, after your reading, I will not remember anything that I've said. Like if you don't read tarot cards and channeling is different. Channeling, like your guides sound like this. And I feel like when they have a lot to say like this, oftentimes they are ancestors. Ancestors tend to have a little bit of a harsher tone than guides that, like, I feel like the more ethereal, like angelic beings and stuff, they do not have such a harsh edge. Um, but some of this stuff you wouldn't hear it any other way. So, anyways, seeing things for what they are and be gentle with yourself. So, number one, this is a powerful tool for you in your process right now, is going to be every time you have a limiting thought that stops you from doing what you're trying to do, you need to literally reprogram yourself to stop and ask yourself how it's not true. Like, let's say, I'm trying to think, like, let's say you don't think you can have a $10,000 month. You need to stop in that moment that that thought crosses your mind and say, well, how many people in the world have $10,000 months? Do I know anybody that makes that kind of money? Do I see people on social media doing that? Create the belief in your mind that your success is inevitable. And every time you think it's not, you need to provide evidence to your mind as to why that's not true. Like I said to you before, you're not special. It's not just you're this one person that none of those things can happen for you, and you can't have A, B, and C, and you can't create a thriving creative career. You're not special. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean that it's either we're all special or like nobody's special. There is no one person just gets left out. One person in all of the cosmic universe that just doesn't get to have their desires fulfilled. No, I call bullshit. And be gentle with yourself. You are also somebody that's really hard on yourself. You are. You're very hard on yourself. You say a lot of mean things to yourself. And Spirit is saying that you gotta stop. You gotta stop being so mean to yourself. You gotta be kinder to yourself and remind yourself of all of the good things that you do have, all the good things that you do. And also remind yourself how far you've come. Then we have for you Inner Alchemy as your gentle message. And I'm actually going to pull this one out of the book because I do not know every single meaning to these cards. This deck in particular, but we'll just look it up so it's all good. Just give me a second. I think these are in alphabetical order. Yeah. Okay, Inner Alchemy, Pearls of Wisdom, Thriving After Difficulties, and Turning Triggers into Growth. That's literally what your whole reading has been about. Turning your fear into growth, turning your turning this othered feeling into growth. Wow. I alchemize my life experience into shining soul gems. I have faith in my healing. I am resilient and resourceful. Pearls are watery jewels symbolic of purity and wisdom. The paradox of these flawless spheres of light is that they are actually born of violation. And that is true. Like pearls, it's sand that irritates the pearl that turns it into the pearl. Like the gentle breeze that serenades the goddess to shore, this card celebrates your rebirth after a period of intensity. The making of a masterpiece requires time and effort. Oh my gosh, I just got the chills. So too does the refinement of your soul light. Have patience in yourself as you slowly but surely turn triggers into growth. You are ready to unveil a naked authenticity born of the alchemical life experience. Beyond the trials and tribulations is your heaven on earth. You will indeed flourish. There is also a temporal quality to this card, so as it speaks of integrating the lessons and skills your soul has gained over many lifetimes, distilling them into the precious gems of love and wisdom. In this incarnation, you are meant to ascend to the next level and shine your soul light brighter than ever before. Ooh, that's a nice, gentle message. What a beautiful message. All right, so that is what I have for you, pile number one. Please, please, I need you to know that your soul is so valuable to this planet. You have beautiful things to put into the world. Please, 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 please do not let your fear stop you. We need your art, okay? And I just want to say again, thank you so much to Tarot Stack for sponsoring today's video. Remember that all the decks that are here are available to you at the links down below. Check out my code, my links, all that jazz. Would appreciate. And if you would like to get my course, if you feel like you need some extra help, I do have my course, The Authentic Self. It's available to you on my website. It's $12. It's a 22 plus page guidebook with some audio integrations that will lead you through the activity of finding your authentic self. And it's helped literally almost 500 people at this point. And I'm really proud of it. I feel like it's work that I have done on myself. And that's why I made the course, was because it was work that I knew was impactful and worked. So definitely check that out if you feel like that's something that you need. If you'd like to support me as a creator, I do have my Patreon available to you, where you get weekly tarot and astrology and bibliomancy updates. You also get a community night every single month. This month, like literally tomorrow, we are doing a life purpose community day, where I'm going to be leading you through how to find your life purpose in astrology, and you can bring your chart and ask me questions about it. And it's going to be really good. It's just like me streaming to a chat. So if you don't want to like talk or put your face on camera, don't worry. It's not that kind of event. The event is literally all chat focused. So you're there in a live chat with just like text, and I'm there on screen talking with my face. So, if you would like to be a part of that, please join the Patreon so you can be a part of it. I also have my podcast available to you. It's called Divine Authenticity. New episodes every Monday at 4:44 a.m. The last episode was all about things that kept me broke, like habits that kept my ass broke, and how I've changed those things. So definitely check it out. We talk about so much more than that. I love my podcast. I also offer private readings to you, available on my website, KhloeTaylor.com, same place as my course. If you want to book me for a personal reading, you can. If you would like to spread some generous love to your favorite tarot card reader, I also have my Cashapp, Venmo, PayPal, and my wish list available to you. I do accept tips for my readings, and I do accept gifts. It is never an expectation, but always appreciated. And last but certainly not least, because I'm your favorite tarot card reader, I do have my socials. I'm at Kloee Taylor on all of my social medias if you'd like to follow me. And I love you so much, Pumpkin. Please do not forget, when you stand in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. Bye. Hello there, my pal number twos. If you chose the Zelda figurine, this is your reading. Now, as I said earlier in the video, this video is sponsored by Tarot Stack, and today we're going to be featuring a couple of new decks that I received recently, the Outlaw Oracle as well as the Creative's Compass, which I'm really excited about. Y'all know that I was jazzed about the pre-order for this deck, so we're going to be using it today in your reading. And if you would like to get it for yourself, all the decks, in fact, that we use in today's video, including these two, are going to be linked down below for you, along with a coupon code. So make sure that you check everything out, and let's go ahead and get into it. So first and foremost, there are different areas to this reading. So of course it is your fated path ahead. And we're going to be looking at what energy you can pull on right now that is available to support you. We're going to be looking at like just a creative aspect. So like the Creative's Compass has multiple different types of creativity cards. So you'll see what I mean when we get into it. We're going to be looking at obstacles or helpers, and then the answers to those things. Again, you'll see what I mean when we get to that. And then we're going to be closing the reading off with some extra messages and a gentle message specifically. Pile number one definitely was rowdy. So we'll see what kind of energy we get in this one. So first and foremost, we have these two cards that represent the energy available to you right now. So we have a cold one and Sacred Heart. So the cold one says belonging. Excuse me, your girl wears glasses. So in order to read these to you, I do gotta look at them. Okay, belonging, relief, and sanctuary. And then we have Sacred Heart, which says purity of heart, intention, and highest desire. So the energy that you have available to you right now, with these two cards being at the forefront of your reading, is number one, you have the ability to belong. You have the ability to find relief and sanctuary. If you have been stressing yourself out, running yourself ragged, honestly, I'm hearing from spirit that you might be somebody that in 2020, your business really took a downturn. Uh, Spirit is saying that you belong here. Your creativity, your business, what you're doing belongs here, and that you have the ability to gravitate towards sanctuary. And Sacred Heart, purity of heart, and like basically your intention with what you do in this world is very pure. You have a very pure intention, you have a very pure heart. That is obvious to spirit. But I feel like because this card also talks about the highest desire, I feel like you've lost sight of your highest desire. And this is actually something that you need to bring back into what you're doing because it wasn't necessarily the panini, if you will, that disrupted everything. I mean, yes, obviously that played a role, not trying to discount it, but you also lost sight of your highest desire. So if your highest desire was to serve X amount of people, or maybe it was a monetary goal that you wanted to see fulfilled through you, there are no wrong answers, but you've lost sight of that highest desire and you need to bring that back into the focal point of your business. And that is ultimately what is going to help you advance on this fated path. So we're going to look at a couple of creative aspects. So we have creative regret is a now feeling, not necessarily how you felt about something before. Ask the right questions when deciding to avoid this feeling. So we'll talk about that in a second. I want to read this next one first. And then we have creative seeker. Be curious, not afraid. You are here to evolve. Ooh, I got the chills. So these two cards, and I want you to know that this creative seeker card, this is what I based this whole reading off of when I was setting intention for it. The creative seeker card was the one that I pulled to describe the reading. So your reading is like, you are definitely supposed to be here listening to this. But first of all, creative regret, I feel like you poured a lot of yourself at one time into this beautiful, creative, expansive idea. Okay. And as things have dwindled, or maybe they've never really taken off the way you'd hoped, you are feeling regretful of the decisions that you've made. But what these cards are asking and what Spirit is asking of you is you need to ask yourself the right questions when deciding to avoid the feeling. So this doesn't mean just letting yourself overfill and like flood yourself with the feelings of regret. You need to follow it down because, to be honest, when we talk about doing the work, that's part of it, is actually following it all the way down to its origin point. Why do you feel like you feel regret over something not working out? Again, was it that financially you didn't reach some kind of goal? And if it was a financial goal, what was the financial goal going to give to you? Was it going to provide you with a safe life? Now, don't get me wrong. I am the first person who will tell you money absolutely does buy happiness. And anybody who tells you that it doesn't is full of crap, because money buys health insurance if you are in America. Money buys things that help you sustain stability and like a solid foundation. And that is a level of happiness. However, there is no safe life. Even if you worked a 9 to 5, it's not safe. That company could go under at any time and you could not have a career with them. If you are pushing out into a creative realm, it's not safe either. There is like, safety in life is a lie. And all of us have been taught that we need to seek safety because all of us want to feel safe. We all deserve to feel safe. But the thing is, you have to feel safe inside yourself first before you can see that expand outwardly. And if you feel like you've fallen on these, like this regret, this chaos, don't just let it sit and flood you constantly. Ask yourself why you regret it and get very specific. Is there something that you genuinely wish you hadn't done and had done it differently? Or did you learn something from this experience that if you decided to do it differently again, could you do something better or different? Or like, I think such a good example of this in my own life that I'll share with you because I feel like it really applies. If you don't know my story and you don't know me and you're just coming across this video randomly, I need you to know that prior to doing what I do here right now on this channel, with every avenue of my business, I would say that I am a very successful digital creator. I would call myself that. Not because I'm tooting my own horn or being big-headed. I just, I have this channel. I have a relatively successful podcast. I do digital products and I have a successful Patreon. Like, I would say that I am a successful digital creator. My husband does not have a job outside of helping me edit my content. Like, I am the sole proprietor of my family. So, like, just to put it into perspective for you. However, about, I want to say it was like circa 2016, maybe even it was like 2017. I was actually in a totally different career field that was also entrepreneurial. I was a gaming content creator. It's what I was doing for a living. And I had a relatively successful career. I was getting taken on trips with Electronic Arts all over the world to test out games before they launched, because my opinion in the community they valued. I wouldn't say that it was ever really that sustainable financially for me, but like, I felt like I became a Twitch partner. I was a YouTube partner with a different channel, not this one. And then everything started to slowly fall apart. I didn't have as many people showing up for Twitch streams. People weren't really watching my videos anymore. I wasn't making enough income to continuously live the lifestyle I was living, even while my husband was also working at the time, a 9 to 5. It wasn't enough. And we were really struggling. And I was filled with so much regret. I felt like I'd wasted my time. I felt like I'd spent 7 years giving my life over to this gaming career just to watch it literally crumble underneath my feet. And I felt like I was the only person to blame. Now, fast forward from 2017, we're in 2023. How many years is that? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, like 6 years, almost 7 years again. I am in such a stable place. I live in a 4-bedroom house with my husband and our 3 cats. I am the sole provider. I am the breadwinning housewife. Of course, I still have goals and things that I'm reaching for, and I don't believe that I've even come close to fulfilling what I'm here to do right now. But I'm well on my way. And in the past, when I was going through all of that, this dying business it was my baby. I'd worked so hard to make that real. And I had done so much. Killed me, crushed me. I was devastated. I blamed myself. I had so much regret. But if I had continued to sit and stew in that regret and not decide to continue to create, to continue to take the lessons that I learned from all of those avenues, I would not be standing here in front of you today doing what I'm doing right now. Because being a Twitch partner, I learned how to talk to people. And I also started reading tarot technically over there first. I started reading tarot on that channel, which I think I privated those videos on that channel because it just didn't make sense for them to be there. And I had, like, if you go onto my Twitch channel, I also have so many clips where I was reading tarot for people. So eventually I used those outlets to create a new one. And if I didn't have that experience of how to video edit, how to make thumbnails, how to do SEO, how to build a website, which I did at the time as well. I also studied photography at the time, videography, not like in school, but just on my own time, because I was trying to be the master of my craft at the time. If I didn't have all of these skills, I would not be sitting here doing what I'm doing right now. Because all of these skills benefited me in what I'm doing right now. And that's the kind of energy you need to bring to this regret. Is where you've been and what you've lost regretful? Maybe. But are there lessons that can actually benefit you? Are you asking yourself the right questions? With the creative seeker, be curious, not afraid. You are here to evolve. I feel like I felt compelled to tell you that story because that was it. I evolved. I became somebody different. And I'm still me. I still have a lot of the same personality that was, back then, but I evolved and didn't want to do that kind of stuff anymore. And that was okay. You're here to evolve. Maybe that original concept and that original idea, it wasn't all for nothing. You are here to evolve. Ask yourself what could be different if you allowed. Okay, the next two cards we have for you, these are like a hindrance, an obstacle, or something helping you. You'll see what I mean. It's kind of like a question and answer for your situation right now. So we have align, to connect deeply, to return to proper course, to live in your truth. And then we have purge, to destroy, to cleanse, to renew, to eradicate, and transform. So we have cards that are going to help us explain these now. So to align to your highest purpose, to what you came here to create, to have that successful, flourishing business. This is what you got to do. The Star and the Nine of Wands. You have to not give up. The Nine of Wands is somebody who you don't feel like you're ready to put yourself back in the saddle. Pardon my fucking French, but you have been fucking bludgeoned to death. Okay. Not literally, but like, you have been hurt over this. This sucks. And I'm sorry that this happened to you, but you have to keep going. You have to see it through. The Nine of Wands, not only are wands cards of like creativity and passion, but the nine comes right before the completion. And it's literally, I don't have the original tableau here with me, but the Nine of Wands, it's usually this person that looks like they are like all bandaged up from battle, but they're preparing themselves for battle again. And it's like, you don't feel like you're quite ready, but you need to just say yes anyways. Because you're never going to be ready. There's never going to be a perfect time for something to happen, to create something new, to take the knowledge that you already received and make something better. You have to do it. You have to realign. And to do it, you have to just pick yourself up and keep going. And I know that some of you do not want to hear that answer, but that's what Spirit's got for you. And then we also have for you the Star card, which I love this because the Star card, it's my favorite card in the tarot deck. If I'm honest with you, literally, it is my absolute favorite one. The Star card, it has so many meanings. It means fame in some indicator, like having the ability to like see your vision in a big way. It's the card of authenticity, being true to yourself. And it's also the card of healing after trauma. And let me tell you, watching a dream die in front of your eyes is traumatizing. I don't care what anybody says. It's something that can lead you to holding on to outdated fears that don't serve you anymore because you're afraid to see that happen again. When you watch a dream die, it does create a traumatizing experience. It leaves an impression on you. And to realign and to move forward, you got to let that heal. You've got to recognize that this is not your story. I mean, it's part of your story that this happened, but this is not the ending of your story. And then purge, what you need to destroy, cleanse, renew, eradicate, or transform. We literally have the card Temperance, which this is the card of creating alchemy, literally turning crappy situations into gold. This is why I needed to tell you about my story. Because even if you are not doing the exact same thing, even if you have a totally different life story, which I guarantee you that you do, apply that to your life. Where do you feel like you've lost something that was so precious to you? But how can you extract the lesson and turn it into something better? That's exactly what I did. And now I get to be here literally living my dream life. Literally. And we also have the Lovers card. Now, the lovers card, we've been seeing this a lot on my channel lately, and I don't know if it's the same person that keeps coming back. I'm going to tell you again, and I'm sure you're tired of hearing it. Your relationship is not serving you. This doesn't mean every single person that came into this reading, it doesn't mean that your partner and you are not meant to be together. That's not what I'm saying. It's not like, you know who you are. This card, and Spirit keeps coming and telling me, because I think this is literally the third time you've heard it. You and your partner, they are not good for you. and you can't see it, maybe because you've been together for a long time, maybe because you're always willing to look past certain things, or maybe because you are somebody that always makes so much room that you will literally accept crumbs when you deserve the world. And the sad part about this is that often we will accept the love that we think we deserve. And if you've only ever experienced a certain kind of love or partnership, it is highly unlikely until you work on yourself by yourself, or like with a mentor, with a coach or a therapist. I'm always a big proponent of tools, but until you study that more by yourself, being single, it is highly unlikely that you will be able to attract a partner that is able to not repeat that same cycle. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it never happens, but often that is what happens when you have a serious karmic cycle that is linked to somebody else. You will continue to attract partners that bring the same pattern up until you decide that you are worthy of more. Now, for some of you, it could be literally purging a contract. Maybe you went into business with a friend and you need to purge that contract and go off on your own. That's very real. But as far as destroying or getting rid of, to me, it's another person. It could be, like I said, some of you it's a business partner. Some of you it is literally a romantic partner, especially if you went into business with that person. You may just need to renew and decide how roles are going to be different. There's something deeply unsettling about this, though, and it's been coming up on my channel a lot recently. Okay, so we have a couple more messages, and then we are going to close with a gentle message. And I can see your card already for the gentle message, and it's a good one. So you're going to want to listen. Okay, so we have Listen Quietly. I love this card with this little sparkly seashell. How beautiful. And then Look to Nature for Healing. So Listen Quietly. This card is all about listening to your inner voice. And I'm going to tell y'all something. If you've been really resonating with this whole reading, please consider trying automatic writing. Spirit is showing me like a scroll and a calligraphy saying that they want to speak to you, but you need to allow yourself to get quiet enough to hear it. And automatic writing, if you've never done that, the way I like to do it is whatever hand I write with. I'm right-handed, but maybe you're left-handed. So whichever hand, I put my pen in my hand and I kind of like hold it up, and I literally will say aloud, Spirit, write to me and through me anything that I need to hear right now. And I will just let myself write freely without thinking about it. Just sometimes it's symbols, sometimes it's words, sometimes it is full paragraphs. Works every time. But that's like something that you should try, I'm hearing, because it says listen quietly. That's like a quiet activity that you could do that could really benefit you. But also listen quietly to even the way that you're taking this reading in. Maybe spend some time thinking about it after the fact, taking some notes in your phone. There's something about a message within you that you need to uncover. And then we have Look to Nature for Healing, which this literally just spend more time outside. Go touch grass. Go touch grass, okay? Nature is such a force of healing. And even if all you have is little like cracks in the concrete where weeds are sprouting up, that's something. If you've got plants in your house, like you don't have to go to a forest. There is nature everywhere. Even the desert is nature. It doesn't have to be this oasis of greenery or the ocean. It can be if you have those things close to you, but look to nature. If you feel like you can't get outside right now, I always encourage listening to nature sounds on YouTube. It's actually been shown that listening to nature sounds decreases stress. Like it's some insane percentage as well. Because another thing, when we hear, like if we think about our ancestors, like cavemen and cavewomen, cave people, we when they would listen to like bird sound, like when birds would be singing or chirping or whatever, that was a sign that there was safety, because it's always in that eerie quiet when nature isn't making any sound that shit is about to go awry. So like bird song to our ears, even ancestrally, and I believe we still hold this, it is very calming. It's very healing. It's very calming because we recognize that that means that like all is right with the world. Things are okay. You know, the bird stopped singing right before the earthquake, you know? So like listen for those, like you could even go and just like put headphones on and listen to YouTube and like get that same feeling. Okay. And lastly, for your gentle message, we have the card of self-love. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm actually going to read to you from the book for these ones because I do not have these memorized. I could tell you all about self-love, but I feel like the passages in this book are just so good that I like to just read them. Okay, so deep magic, self-discovery, awakening. I have been attuned to my magnificence. I am free in my expressions. I find passion in all that I do. Self-love can help us transmute the moments of dissolution we experience into tenderness and growth. It is a compass for how we choose to interact on this planet and a gentle ally that is always waiting at the sidelines. This wisdom may also blossom through those moments of trial and error after being hurt or let down by others. Like the rising of a phoenix, self-love can be built from a splintered foundation in knowing what we need and what does not work for us through a process of elimination. This is a relationship that takes tending, nurturing, and care. It can also point to a need for surrounding yourself with energies, people, and environments that add value to your life. This is a sacred balance that allows others to shine as well. It is time to bring even more inspiration and light into the chambers of your heart. So I'll let you take that message in. And just thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much to Tarot Stack for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to check out all of the links down below for each of these decks, as well as use that coupon code. And if you would like to and you feel called, especially this pile in particular, pile number 1, I didn't really feel called to mention it, but for your pile, if you really feel like you are lost, especially in that deep regret, please, 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 please. And I'm not telling you this because I need to make money. I literally priced this so low on purpose because I wanted it to be accessible. I do have my course. It's $12 on my website. It's at KhloeTaylor.com. It's called The Authentic Self. It is a 22 plus page workbook that also has an audio guide with it that can help you meet your authentic self. And I really think working through some of this feeling that I have here, it would benefit you. So check that out if you're interested. I also have my Patreon if you would like to support me. I put out weekly energy updates for tarot and astrology. I also have a card of the month, and we also do community events. We have one tomorrow in the morning where I'm going to be teaching you how to use astrology to figure out your life purpose. And you can bring your astrology chart with you, ask me questions. It's going to be like I'm live talking to you, but it will be a chat that you can type into. So don't worry, like we're not going to be like on the phone. You don't have to show your face or use a mic or anything. But if you want to be a part of that, please, please, please come and join the Patreon for that event. And if you would like more of me around the web besides just here, I have my podcast, Divine Authenticity, new episodes every Monday at 4:44 a.m. It's a good time. We talk about everything under the sun. This past episode, I talked about habits that kept me broke, and I really felt like it was an inspired episode. And of course, it's never an expectation, but always appreciated. If you would like to book a private reading with me, you can do so at KhloeTaylor.com, as well as I have my Cashapp, Venmo, PayPal, and my wish list down below. If you'd like to leave me a tip for my readings or send me a gift, you always can. But again, I don't expect it. I just mention it because sometimes y'all ask. And because I'm your favorite tarot card reader, don't forget to follow me on socials everywhere. I'm on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm at Kloee Taylor. And I love you so much, Pumpkin. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. Bye. All right, pile number 3, if you chose the Mifa, which is this little character here, she's like this little fish girl with a spear. I love Mifa. If you chose the little Mifa figurine, this is going to be your reading. And once again, as I said earlier, thank you so much to Tarot Stack for sponsoring today's video. Today, we're actually going to be using these 2 decks as like the main focal point of your reading. And then we have some other cards too. Every deck that I'm using today actually comes from Tarot Stack. And their newest deck, the Creative's Compass, which if y'all remember, if you've been here a while, I've been talking about this deck quite a lot because there was a pre-order available for it. And I have just been so excited to wait for the inspiration to strike for when I would feel ready to use these cards for a reading. And today is the day because we are talking about your fated path ahead. And I really set the intention with these readings that people that were creative types, like wanted to create for a living and or like just really let their life be run by creativity. That was kind of my focal point for this reading. So we will be using this deck and then also the Outlaw Oracle, which like, isn't this box just cool? It looks like a box of cigarettes. I love it. I don't personally smoke, but I just think it looks cool. Anyways, these, of course, will be linked down below along with every other deck that I used today. So thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for providing the decks today. But let's go ahead and get into it. So there are multiple areas that we're going to look at with this reading. Number one, we're going to look at what energy you have around you to support you right now. We're going to look at some creative stuff, which I don't want to emphasize on that too much because the Creative's Compass deck has like a couple of different areas of creativity. So we'll see what comes up for you. We're going to look at obstacles or helpers for you right now and basically how to work through those if they are obstacles or how to use them if they're helpers. You'll see what I mean when we get there. We're going to read a few extra messages and lastly end on a gentle message from your guides. So first and foremost, the energy that is around you to support you right now. You have the Desert Rose, which is rare strength and unlikely bloom. And then we have Wanderlust, living, loving life on the run. So number one, first and foremost, you desire to live the life of the digital nomad, or you already are a digital nomad, which if you don't know what that means, a digital nomad is basically somebody that you are a digital creator and you live life on the go. You don't necessarily have a home base. Most people will put their stuff into storage, excuse me, and then take their suitcase or whatever with them on the go along with their laptop, living that like laptop lifestyle. So this reading is going to be for you if you're somebody that desires that, or if you're somebody that already has it and maybe you're a little lost and you needed some help. So number one, the energy that's around you to support you right now is the Desert Rose is powerful. It's a very powerful card because it's rare strength and an unlikely bloom. It's almost like the moment you release your desire to the universe of what you're hoping to accomplish or what you're wanting from your creative lifestyle, excuse me, whatever you're wanting, it's like you don't even expect it to bloom. Like this is that, oh gosh, I've had stuff like this happen to me before too. So I totally get it. It's like you put out like the most bullshit thing and then that is the thing that goes viral. Like, I've totally had this happen to me before with like TikTok. I've put out like the most random thing where I didn't even try hard. And that was like the one that everybody was like, oh, what's this? It was and then I want to say TikTok took it down because it was like an over sexualization and they didn't like that. Which I wasn't even like, I was fully clothed. It wasn't weird, but it was a TikTok talking about like the different astrological signs in bed. And like, I was so nervous to post it, but it was so low effort. And it was the one that I got like 70,000 views on that TikTok. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's that kind of thing. The Desert Rose is like, you don't really expect much to come from it, but like you throw out the most random thing and something awesome happens. So first and foremost, your guides want you to know that you just need to be producing. There is no, oh, I have to curate it this way or I have to post it this time. There's no perfectly little curated thing that's going to get you on the fast track to creating something viral. Okay, so just put in the effort that you have for that day or that allotted time and be done, because you're going to bloom in an unlikely way anyways. And then Wanderlust, living and loving life on the run. This is it. This is your confirmation. If you are somebody that you want to live that Wanderlust lifestyle, this is your confirmation in this reading that you can have it, that energy is available to you and you need to plan for it. And if you're somebody that's already doing it, like, I feel like you need to focus a little bit more on the living aspect versus just the working aspect. There's something about like, you maybe have even taken yourself to lots of places, but you haven't really experienced the culture or the people or the food. There's like something that is missing. and you were not meant to just stay inside of your Airbnb or what have you and not do more. So in any case, let's keep going. So for the creative cards, these are going to be like creative things that maybe you're not aware of or something. Okay. We have creative feeling. Enjoy the moments of euphoria, but they aren't sustainable. The slow burn, that's where the gold lies. You know what's ridiculous? I I was literally, when I talked about the viral bloom, I literally was about to talk about this and I was like, no, I'm not going to. I hate it when I do that to myself. When spirit gives me a prompt and I just like don't trust it. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, Kloee, you don't need to go on a tangent about that right now. But spirit literally already gave me a preview for this card. I'll explain more in a second. I want to read the other one first. And then we have creative disappointment. Not really failure. This happens simply when an expectation has not been met. Don't be discouraged when no one is ready to walk through the entrance you just created. Okay. Oh, that's such a powerful card. I love that. Okay. So first and foremost, creative feeling. Enjoy the moments of euphoria, but they aren't sustainable. So something you need to know, and you're being told right now, either because you've already experienced this and you need to hear this, or you haven't experienced yet and you just need to know. And I feel like those of you that haven't experienced this yet, it's going to be harder to hear, but you really don't want to go viral. Trust me on that. Trust me on that from my own personal experience and from countless other creatives that have experienced it that talk about it on podcast interviews. You really don't want to go viral. You can, and I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it doesn't generate more money, more views, more sponsorships. It does good things for your career. However, here's the thing. Even though it might do good things for your career, eventually that gravy boat sails. And it doesn't mean that you'll never have another viral moment again, because like we can manifest that any time of the day, any day of the week. But if you go viral and you're not ready to hold that energy, it's not good. It's not good because it will destroy your mental health. Because what happens is it literally is addicting. Like I said, take it from somebody who's been there. It is addicting to open up your analytics page, and every time you swipe down to like refresh the page, your views jump up by 1,000 or whatever, however big the number is. It is addicting, and it's addicting on purpose. You're getting like this silent praise for doing, like you did the thing and now you're getting like this silent praise. It is habit forming, it's addicting. And then what happens is when you go to create something else after the fact, if it doesn't hit that same high, you don't get that same rush of dopamine. It messes with your mind. And you might think it won't. You might think, oh no, that's not going to be me. It's going to happen. It's just going to feel good. And I'm just going to like relish in that. I promise you, it happens to the best of us. Everybody that is in this creative way of living, it happens to the best of us. I have fallen prey to this. I know countless other people that have fallen prey to this and have had to step back from their work for weeks to months at a time to recuperate their mental health because it does something to your mind. And the other thing is, if you really want to go viral, in my humble opinion, the best way to do it is to have already created a boatload of content, because you don't want to post one thing and have that one thing go viral. Trust me on that. You want to have content that is already there, because when you do go viral, you want to create binge-worthy content. You want content that's already on your page, already in your business, already like, let's say you have a product that you sell that goes viral. You want to have other products that are similar, other things about your product, right? You want to have that because it creates more. It allows people to go, oh, I liked this video, or I liked this podcast, or I liked this product. Maybe I want this thing too. Or I liked this course. Maybe I would also like this course, whatever it is that you're selling. If you already have a basis of what you've done, it creates more when that viral moment comes. But remember, being viral is genuinely not sustainable. Like the only person I think we can even consider is like maybe Mr. Beast. Like I feel like everything that Mr. Beast does is just viral, but like it's not sustainable. The slow burn and the slow climb are so much sweeter because you're able to create that sustainable creative bandwidth versus it being this one big boom of a moment. And then when that all lessens, because you have this like new set point in your head of what you can achieve, it makes it harder to keep going when you don't hit that set point. So just keep that in mind as you are working to create and have this lifestyle, that it's okay to not go viral. A slow and steady burn is actually better. And trust me, I'm a YouTuber twice over. If you didn't know that about me, I had a previous YouTube career that was actually quite successful. I know it twice over. So I've had that viral moment twice over now. And I gotta tell you, the slow burn is so much sweeter. And something else to remember, even in virality, there's nothing wrong with wanting to go viral and that being your goal. But please remember in that viral moment that that's 10,000, 17,000, a million people. Those are individual people that chose to watch your thing, look at your thing, buy your thing. Like, stay humble, you know? Also, I need to point it out to you because it hovered in front of my window. I don't know if you have a spiritual symbol of this, but there was a hummingbird that they usually don't hover in front of my window because the hummingbird feeder is not in front of my window. It's in front of the other window in my house. But this hummingbird just came and hovered directly in front of me and then flew probably towards the feeder that I can't see from here. That I feel like a lot of times the animals around here speak in my readings because they are a symbol for you. So just going to put that out there. And then creative disappointment, not really failure. This happens simply when an expectation has not been met. Don't be discouraged when no one is ready to walk through the entrance you just created. So when you create something, you create a portal, right? You create a portal in some way. You transport people into your world in some way or into something in some way. And sometimes you create a thing and people aren't ready to get on your train, and that's okay. It's okay. That doesn't mean your time isn't coming. And in fact, these next two cards are going to really help you to figure out if you're not there, or if you are and you're down, how to pick yourself back up or how to get there. So we have these are like the prompts, and then we're going to answer the prompts. You'll see what I mean in a second. We have attract, to welcome and become available, to be ready to hold and broadcast an intention. And then we have support, to help, to aid, to assist, to encourage, to hold space. So number one, these are the two things that you need to integrate into your life the most as a creative on this path right now. Is number one, you need to be practicing more of attracting what you want. And number two, you need to be willing to either be a support system yourself to support others, or be okay receiving support. I have tarot cards that are going to help us more in detail with these, but something else I want to mention to you just because we're on the topic. And last time I didn't mention something that was on the topic, Spirit was like, oh, here's a card about it. So I'm just going to tell you what is coming. In order to attract what you want, it's not about just writing it on a piece of paper and then never looking at it again. It's literally about embodying the person that has that thing, that has that lifestyle. So if you want to be a digital nomad, or you want to have your career pick back up because you're already a digital nomad, you need to ask yourself what people that would be successful in that are doing. I'm not saying that you need to make yourself a carbon copy of somebody else, because you need to do it in your own way. But are there habits in your day-to-day life that you could be cultivating that would support that concept? Because that is what you need to integrate into your life to actually attract it. Now, let's go ahead and see what cards we have here to help us describe these more. So with attract, we have the Wheel of Fortune. And we also have Flower of Life. So the Wheel of Fortune, this is, if you're putting out good energy, you're going to attract back good energy. The Wheel of Fortune is the wheel of karma. And it's also about attracting like a windfall of financial success. So know that like this, it's okay if that's a focus for you. You don't need to be ashamed of that. I feel like we do creators such a disservice by telling them that it's wrong to want money for their endeavors. And this has been a truth, I swear to you, since like the test of time. We have told creatives that like for some reason they should just work for free. No. Like, it's okay to have a set dollar amount in your mind of what you want. So many people will sit here and tell you that money is evil and it's a crock of shit. Like, money is not evil, it is literally a tool. And there are people that have like bad intentions that will use money in a negative way to benefit themselves. But that's the person we should blame, not the tool. And people always come at me when I bring this shit up. And number one, I don't care. And number two, even if you want to get even more specific, the Bible talks about like being a worshiper of money is bad. No, it isn't. You should treat the money in your life like you are in a relationship with it. Because let me tell you, the second that you treat money like you're in a committed relationship with it, you attract more of it. Because think about that. If you were in a relationship with a person and they constantly would speak unkindly about you, be stressed around you, have like traumatizing stories they were always repeating around you about you, would you want to hang out with that person? Yes, it's real. I'm not trying to dampen anybody's reality of what their experiences is with money or with people for that matter. But put that same lens on money. Put that same lens on money. If you just crumble it up and throw it at the bottom of your purse, of course it doesn't want to hang out with you. Like if you speak negative things about it, you're always talking to other people about your traumatizing money stories instead of trying to build new beautiful stories. And don't get me wrong, this is not me trying to discount your trauma. I myself come from extreme financial trauma. I'm not going to get into that right now. I just literally recorded a whole podcast on it that went out this last week. But in dealing with that, when you become aware, it's not that you deserved those traumatic experiences. It's that once you become aware, it is your responsibility to work through it. It is your responsibility to change the story around it. So I am completely here for the worship of money. I think when you worship money and you treat money good, money worships you and treats you good. Okay? Have a relationship with money. Don't let people tell you that worshiping money is evil or that money is evil. It's literally like saying a knife is evil. No, a knife can kill someone, but it can also help you cook a really intricate meal. Like, it's just so ludicrous to me. Obviously I have some feelings about that and it drives me bananas when I hear anything on the contrary. I know we can all have our own opinions and our own things, but that's one that I just simply do not stand for, especially coming from the background of having my parents to this day fight about money to like a screaming level. It's very unsettling and it makes me sad that anybody has that kind of relationship with money because you deserve so much more and you deserve so much better. But my point to this is when you are looking to attract, don't let anybody tell you that it's wrong to want to attract a dollar amount. Obviously, don't lose yourself in the sauce. You can still be grateful for clientele, but still have a set number of what you want to earn. That's okay. And if you just needed somebody to tell you that today, I am that person that is giving you the permission slip, okay? I didn't have to do that. You could have given that to yourself, but maybe you needed to hear it. And then with the flower of life, this is also about everything being connected. Everything is connected. Every person that you come across, they mirror something to you, whether that feels negative or positive. We are all deeply connected and every experience is connected. And oftentimes, if something is happening externally that we don't like, we need to take a deeper look inside and see what's going on. What kind of beliefs do we harbor that might support that experience? I'm going to leave you with that, actually. I feel like I just really went on a tangent. But with the card support, to help, to aid, to assist, to encourage, and to hold space, we have the World and we have the Magician. So you have the whole World Wide Web. Literally, I think the world is standing in as the world. And then this is you, the Magician. Okay? So when it comes to support, number one, in your creative endeavors, you need to ask yourself, how is the things that you're doing supporting others? Because let me tell you something, even though I am that queen, I am that opulent, luxurious queen. Okay, I'm a Taurus. I am an opulent, luxurious queen. But I also recognize that even though I love opulence, we love luxury, at the end of the day, if I had every single luxurious thing that I could dream into being at my fingertips right this minute, and that was all I ever thought life was going to be good for, I would be devastated. Something that you learn when you finally feel like you have stability under you, if you're somebody that doesn't feel like you have that, you learn very quickly that you don't feel very good. Like, this is something money can't buy. Money cannot buy your contribution to the world. And so don't get me wrong, I do think we can get burnout on serving others, but when you finally feel supported, taken care of, and good, you will feel so down on yourself if you don't feel like you're making a difference in the world. So it's really important while you are in this stage right now to ask yourself, the work that you're doing, the things that you're making, the business that you have, the way that you are moving through your own creativity, how is this supporting the world? Not every single person, because not everybody's going to resonate with you. That's just the facts. How is this supporting or adding or contributing to the world? And on the flip side of that, how is it going to also support you? Because I also get the sense, I think we're also having this deep financial discussion today in your reading specifically, because I also think that you have a hard time letting the universe support you. You think that you can support others, but when you ask if the universe or the world can support you, the answer is no. And Spirit is saying that you are a co-creator of your experience, and you can allow in divine support, physical support, like people in your life support, and it's actually better if you do. So how can you support others, and how can you allow yourself to be supported? These are the questions you need to ponder in order to move forward. Now, we also have for you, love your dark side too. So this is like, love your shadow too. Your shadow just wants to be seen. And the more you can honor that and see it without judgment, the better you're going to feel. And then take a field trip. So especially those of you that are already living a digital lifestyle that's on the go, you might need to just go experience a new area where you are. Those of you that want that in your life, that don't have it yet, you need to take a little day trip. Like, even if it's just like 20 minutes to an hour outside of where you always reside. Maybe this is like planning a little getaway local for you, if you have the means to do so. If not, I would encourage just taking like a day trip out somewhere. Don't even have to stay the night anywhere. That's not financially in the cards for you. Just taking some space out of where you currently are, doing something on your own, getting out of your surroundings that you're always in right now. And then last but certainly not least, the gentle message that Spirit has for you is Akashic Waters. I'm going to read this one from the book because I am not going to lie to you. I'm not familiar. I know what like the Akashic records are, but these cards, they have such beautiful descriptions. I do not have them all memorized. So your gentle message from your guides, Akashic Waters, it's timeless wisdom, past life reconciliation, activating dormant magic. And it says, you are being invited to explore the ever-evolving wisdom of your own Akashic records, to open your mind to new possibilities through exploration and many pages of your soul book. To do this, you may begin with setting an intention for how you would like to dive in. Take note of any questions you may have. From here, devote some time where you may enter a receptive state. Meditation and deep relaxation are wonderful practices for accessing the Akasha. As you carve out time for exploring your own worlds, the information that surfaces may take on different forms. Perhaps you will receive sensory messages, blooming symbols, or even visuals of certain locations. It can be helpful to keep a journal to record your feelings. Navigating the Akashic records is similar to interpreting dreams, only you are awake during the process. Don't forget to have fun as you turn your gaze inward. Look out for signs and synchronicities along the way. All right, that is what I have for you, pile number 3. Thank you so much to Tarot Stack for sponsoring today's video. If you would like to, be sure to check them out down below. All of the links to every deck are down there, as well as a coupon code for you. I love, love, love Tarot Stack. They are absolutely wonderful. They are basically like indie deck providers. So absolutely wonderful. Big fan. I have so many decks from them, obviously. So definitely give it a check. Definitely give it a look-see. If you would like to support me more as a creator, I do have my course available to you, The Authentic Self. It's $12. It's available on KhloeTaylor.com. It gives you a 22+ page guidebook with an audio guide to help you understand, know, and come to your authentic self. I also have my Patreon available to you, where I put out weekly energy updates that include astrology and tarot for the week, as well as bibliomancy. We have a card of the month, and we do a community event every month. The next community event is tomorrow. We're actually going to be doing a life purpose community event where I'm going to show you how to use astrology to figure out your life purpose. We're going to talk about it. You can bring your charts to the event, and I'll try my best to answer everybody's questions. It's not like you're going to be in a call with me if any of y'all are afraid of that. It's not like face to face or microphone to microphone. It's me actually broadcasting myself with a camera and a microphone, and there will be a chat that you can type into to talk back to me. So it's pretty like chill and low key. Even if you just want to come and lurk, definitely join the Patreon if you want to be part of that. I always say that my Patreon, like, think of that like your ticket price for the month if you want to join. We do some kind of an event every month, and they're always exciting. So check that out if you want to join. I also have my podcast available to you, Divine Authenticity. New episodes every Monday at 4:44 a.m. This past week, I did an episode called Habits That Kept Me Broke as Fuck, and I think it's a great episode, so check that out. I also have private readings. If you would like to book me for a private reading, those are available to you at KhloeTaylor.com. And if you would like to, it is never an expectation, but always appreciated. I have my Cashapp, Venmo, PayPal, and my wish list available to you if you would like to send me a tip or send me a gift. And because I'm your favorite tarot card reader, even though so many people get so fucking mad when I say that, they're like, oh my God, you're creating karma. No, I'm not. I'm just having fun. Like, relax. People take everything so seriously. Not you, though. I feel like if you're listening to me, you're probably laughing at me. But because I'm your favorite tarot card reader, Kloee Taylor, be sure to follow me on socials. I'm at Kloee Taylor on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And I love you so much. Please do not forget, when you stand in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.